pods, casting on the internet. And there's no discharge in the war. Try to think of something different. Oh my God, keep me from going lunatic. Pods, casting on the internet. And my beloved audience, there is no discharge in Cinema Forecast.
That's right, Alfredo.
Yep, that's my name, Alfredo. And here with me is Connor.
And we're back at it again with Cinema Forecast, bonus episode.
Yes, bonus episode. This is, of course, Cinema Forecast, where we are the movie podcast where every month we are randomly assigned a movie category by the legally distinct, just a category. Movie category, whatever the fuck you want to call it, by the legally distinct movie roulette. Attached to said category are 4 movies. Each week we go in depth into one of those movies in the context of the category. This month we have kind of foregone that by doing just zombies.
And actually, I just realized this is our Halloween episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, we should have a...
You know the best part? I did think about that.
Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween. We are recording this on June 19th. So happy Juneteenth as well.
That's
because today is the day that 28 years later has come out. This is one of those Cinema Forecast bonus episodes. We just got out of the movie. We just watched it with some buds.
Yeah. We went to the premiere, 12 o'clock.
Yeah, we were in there at friggin' noon.
That's right.
In there like the friggin' swimwear, you know?
Yeah, we had great seats.
So, yeah, we did. We had great seats. I had a great time.
Great movie.
I'm excited to talk about it. Yeah, this is a wild film. Wild piece of film. I do, like I said, I want to address again. This is from the... That's the vault door opening. This is from the vault.
Yeah.
Recorded way in advance.
Yeah. But felt very fitting because our last episode, timing-wise, is 28 days later. And we're like, oh, there's an extra Friday in October. We both really want to see this movie and talk about it. Let's just record it now.
Yeah, this is so fun. Okay, I thought of this on the way over. Tonight is Game 6 of the NBA Finals. I just want to say very quickly, I want to make a prediction that today, on Thursday, June 19th, the Thunder will win Game 4 and secure their first ever NBA championship.
Ooh.
Seal it in the vault.
That's pretty hype.
You like the sound effects I'm doing?
Yeah, I don't know how well it'll come through on a mic, but...
No, dude. Me and my mic, we get each other. We understand each other. Right, microphone? Yeah, I getcha. Okay, let's get into it.
That's right.
Danny Boyle, Alex Garland, back together again.
Yes, which was super exciting for me. I, as I'm sure I was gushing over it last week, love 28 Days Later. It's one of my favorite horror movies, my favorite zombie movie. But, maybe by the end of Zombie Month, I'll feel different about it. We'll see. But, yes, I liked 28 Days Later, but it definitely felt more of just kind of a... like what you'd expect from an action zombie movie. There's some really awesome set pieces and awesome moments in it for sure. But 28 Days Later, what I love about it so much is this kind of emotional core of the themes of humanity and rage and exploring, what we become once society falls away and finding your humanity and losing your humanity. So I was really excited to see this pair together again because Danny Boyle, such amazing artistic direction. I'll just say from the jump that this one felt quite a bit more in your face with the artistic, vision of it, where it felt much larger than life than 28 Days Later. I would say 28 Days Later feels like a very grounded movie.
It was a bit of an epic.
Yeah.
It was, and it is the start of a trilogy, which is wild to think about.
That's so cool. I'm so excited. I was a little bummed we were just looking it up that Danny Boyle looks like he's not slated as the next director. Still got Alex Garland writing it. But very excited to see where it's going nonetheless.
I want to shout out from the very, very, very beginning, Anthony Dodd Mantle, the director of photography in this film, because this is so beautifully shot.
Oh my gosh.
Such a pretty movie.
Yeah.
And I'm going to get in here real quick and I'm going to say a few things about I watched this YouTube video very recently. I'm sure I'm going to talk about this a lot on the 28 Days Later episode again, but I just want to bring it up again. 28 days later is shot mostly in like 480p on like all these video cameras, and it helped them do shit like be able to clear out a London street for 20 minutes and film a scene and shit like that. But then at the very end, it switches to 35 millimeter, and it's like this very beautiful like sort of moment, which I'm sure we'll gush about so much. But having watched this video essay, and I'm gonna shout him out right now. It's a YouTube channel called Archer Green. I'm sure I'll shout it out again when we do the 28 Days Later episode. But highly encourage people to check that out because it's very, very cool. So I'm looking now. What will like? I'm so in like a cinematographic, like what are we doing, and a very technical one, like not so like I'm thinking about composition and all that stuff like I usually do, but now I'm mostly thinking about like what are the like, I mean, one of the things I noticed from the very beginning is like there's a like I think an elevated frame rate in that first scene. Like it feels like it might be like 60 frames. I'm not sure.
Interesting.
But something about it feels very like visceral.
Yeah.
In that way.
I love that they start on the Teletubbies because everyone knows that shit's creepy as hell.
Yeah, it was great. Also wild. If you don't know already, massive spoilers for 28 Years Later. Massive spoilers for 28 Days Later. Dude, Jimmy.
Yeah.
Jimmy, that is the like bookends of this film.
So interesting. Like that's such a good hook to introduce Jimmy in him surviving. Both of his parents die. His father basically surrendering to the second coming, Armageddon. Like it's insane.
Yeah, I was thinking that was gonna be like, when I saw the trailer, I thought that was going to be like an aspect of modern life,
like
right?
Very Christian, or like maybe in this one society or something like that, or whatever.
I figured that there was going to be some weird cult that was ready for the zombies to like they are.
Yeah, I was expecting some cult stuff just based on the commercials of like the Bone Tower, and like it just seemed very like stay away kind of vibe,
sure.
and it totally flipped that expectation on me.
I love that shit too. I feel like
interesting.
Did a good job with the trailer, like not giving too much away at all.
Right.
But what I was gonna say is I felt like there was gonna be some sort of evolution of like Catholicism or Christianity where the rapture is brought on by the rage virus and like being consumed, like Christ by like his followers, like but it wasn't. It was at the very beginning, and I was like, "Whoa, sick! Okay, where are we going with the rest of this?"
Right. Which at the beginning of 28 Days Later, the first place Jim seeks out is a church as well. So there's this parallel here of looking for God, and all you find is the horrors, because that's also his first encounter with the infected.
Yeah, it's true. I'm not sure exactly how you want to approach this. I kind of want to talk about it as a whole, because there's a lot of really cool, like, I mean, we could broad overview of the plot really quickly, and then maybe just talking about genre stuff it's doing.
Yeah, I don't mind just talking about whatever for bonus episodes.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, just for those of you, maybe it's been like when is October from now? 4 months since you've seen this movie. It starts off with father and like this Aaron Taylor Johnson, I think that's his name. Hot.
Good looking man.
Yeah, good looking guy. He's taking
just such a brooding character in this movie too, and so like in control of the situation.
How'd you feel about Spike, the kid playing Spike?
Excellent.
Great job, yeah.
I was blown away. I was like,
really good,
because I'm so hesitant when I know that a kid is going to be playing a major role.
The scene where he slaps him is hard, and it's like I was like my eye was so critical, and I was like still like, fuck, like this
really
is,
good performance.
You're giving this is a big moment for this kid to deliver, and I think he did in that moment. I
mean, it's such a range in this movie. He go everywhere from doing silly faces and playing with his mom to just being someone who wants to protect his mom, and horror and anger over the situation with his father. Like, it's a lot.
No, it is a lot. And there was a moment where I was like, do I want all this business? And I ultimately do.
Yeah, I hear you there. I my feelings are still settling on aspects of it, but I mean, for the story it's telling, there wasn't really any wasted scenes.
Yeah, no, I have some very I have some feelings that are becoming stronger and stronger. I feel like about this, but I want to say, the kid, he's 12. He's gonna get taken out because they live on this little island. They're gonna go out to the mainland, and he's gonna get his first infected kill.
Yeah.
Wild, and you immediately
Great
see
start.
his dad is like very like violent, or very embracing of violence. Really wants to show him how harsh this world is.
He wants to what do you call it? Normalize it and make it so that's something that he doesn't hesitate to do anymore. He's trying to basically just get the fear out of him, turning him into a soldier.
The easier it becomes.
The themes of war in both of these or at least in 28 Days Later in this one and in 28 Weeks Later, the dehumanization that we see with soldiers and the bloodlust and what they have to celebrate over to survive,
And I think that's why the artsy stuff, like a lot of the artsy things in this film, quote unquote, a lot of the more like experimental sort of things, I think worked so well for me. All of that like archival footage or the old footage of like movies with the like English archers.
Yeah,
like it's
so interesting.
I liked it a lot. I liked it so much. It felt like collage, like a collage in a movie, and done effectively. Not like oh, look at us, we're like something about this movie also felt very like because it's like just Britain that has been like sort of like cast aside. There is this like sort of like sense of like it doesn't feel like it's patriotic, but there's something about like Britain as like a character in this movie,
well,
or like the
Scottish
British
flag,
the British identity
keeps hanging.
It's the English flag.
Oh, okay, interesting.
Yeah. Because it's the red cross on the white background.
Gotcha.
I'm 9% Scottish. Found
right?
out in the DNA test. Yeah.
I'm actually fairly Scottish too, but know very little about that ancestry.
I'm only 9.
I think I'm like, it doesn't matter, 20-30% maybe.
You're 28 genes later.
28 genes later, yes.
That's a lot of pairs of genes.
The setting of the island, the whole path that is only available during low tide. Did
you ever see that show that does that too?
No,
there's a Max show where there's an island like that, like an HBO show where there's some sort of island where they like
the tide controls the exit.
Yeah,
I love that. That's so, and it's so visually striking, and how they use it later, especially. Oh my god,
it's so well set up. What I think is very interesting about the plot structure too is that we have this sort of like first part, which is like, all right, taking his son under his wing, showing like essentially a part that could have been the whole movie, which is he takes the kid out for his first time. They get into run into more infected and essentially have to stay past, like you're kind of expecting it. They're going to miss low tide.
Yeah.
And they run into what they are calling alphas.
Yeah. Which
they run into
I was
an
not
alpha.
expecting at all. It really took a, like I said at the beginning, much larger than life feeling than 28 Days Later, where you have, they're evolving now. I mean, the whole scene with the pregnant infected lady and how there seems to be a moment of humanity between
his mother Isla,
between Isla and this infected person as she's giving birth. It's maybe approaching being heavy-handed in aspects, but I think it's done so artistically, and there's so many ways to interpret it that I don't think it is heavy-handed.
There's kind of this part of it that is like sort of like unflinchingly maximalistic, not like in the way it's presented, but almost in like, what are we going to explore? Like, what do we want to talk about? And there's a big scope. And you know what I'm thinking of that it reminds me a little bit? It kind of reminds me of, and I think we've said this in the past, kind of like you have a little bit of like classic legend sort of like structure, or like folktale sort of like the going out and the very hero's journey like sort of thing, right?
Totally.
But like it feels like, like you could almost hear this story gathered around a fire like 100 years later about like how, young Spike and his father, and like how then he took his mother, dude, because there is so much. I mean, so what I think is interesting is we have that first part, which is this sort of like them surviving, making it back, the big party where like his father is exaggerating like what he did. He's calling him the giant killer, the giant slayer, whatever.
Yeah.
And he sees his dad like
hooking up with
somebody else. his mom is very sick, and then like where it goes from here is really interesting to me. Like I was like, whoa, like where's the movie going now? Like, and I will admit I checked my watch because I want to know like what like this is kind of fucked up. I know the runtime. I know like
yeah.
roughly when it's, and I'm like looking for like beats and
Right.
like these like little like turning points, just to kind of like situate it. I think it also helps me like ground my memories
Yeah.
in something where I can be like, okay, roughly like this many minutes in.
Yeah, and I would say there's a pretty clear 3-act structure for this one.
The first part is like 40 minutes, I think, like
Yeah.
45 minutes maybe.
Yeah, really good. That's kind of what I was expecting for the whole movie was
Yeah,
the first
me too.
act. I was thinking it was going to be just kind of the survival father-son story. And then it really twists that on my head, and I was kind of finding my footing for some of it, like enjoying it all, but I'm like, where are we going? And then by the end where it just kind of ends, I'm like, oh, like that was the end. Okay, I was expecting, a big climax moment, and instead it was like an emotional climax, and then it just kind of has a hook, like a little teaser almost for the next installment.
Yeah, I almost felt like the movie ends like
Where the
before
next-
the ending, right?
Yeah. Like the ending of this one is the start of the next one, kind of.
Like I see it ending where his dad runs into the water
Totally.
and is like, Spike, like kind of like screams.
Yeah, I think his father is a great character. I find his struggle with his fidelity really well written and like feels very real, right?
Yeah, I mean his whole reaction to hitting his like son too. I think that's super well handled. I felt like there's so much weight.
Yeah.
Like the weight that should be given to it, and you can see it like I fucked up. Like I crossed a line. And then like when he like has the knife to him and the way his hand shakes as he hands it back to him.
Yeah, and the theme of rage in all of these movies, dealing with that rage and finding your humanity, and his father struggling to hold on to his, what was society, right? Here we are at the end of the world, a wife who like I can't communicate with really, like the isolation of that, and how that, turns him towards, finding other ways to feel loved, and how that triggers his son's reaction to, I mean, everything spirals from him finding that out, right? My dad was lying about, what I did.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did find it, and I think it's just a credit to how well they set up they set up Spike, is that I did
No,
find
you're
it,
okay.
I did find it a little hard to believe because Spike seems so aware of how capable he was during that journey and how many times his father did have to save him. And now you're going to bring your mother out into the wilderness by yourself when it doesn't seem like you can rely on her to take care of herself. Like it almost felt like they had set him up to be a little too smart to so emotionally do this, but it's also like he's 12, so like, but I was having that kind of debate in my head while it was happening.
To me it was almost like the hero returns and is celebrated, does not feel
Like a
like a hero,
That's good.
and knows this is how I will forge myself into what I must like become.
Yeah, I love that ending of him just like, no, I'm just gonna walk the lands.
And he tells his dad like, and there's like it's almost like he's gone past his resentment towards his father. There's like, I feel like with the acceptance of the death of his mother, which is, I think, such an amazingly emotionally poignant moment in this zombie movie.
Yeah, I mean that's
Like,
the climax of the movie.
Ray Fiennes, you're saying cult shit. He is like, he has this almost like, there's this Buddha-ness to him.
Yeah.
Like there are this like almost like Buddha-like qualities to like this sort of like enlightened being. I mean, he's so twisted. And what I kind of am like loving while I'm watching the movie is like everything is so twisted. And like everything is so twisted by what's happened.
Right.
And I love how even like those beautiful moments, there's this disturbing like it's I don't know. It's just a much more visceral world than we live in right now,
Yeah. No, it's interesting that, you mentioned the cult elements to his beliefs and stuff, and I could see a spin on this where, and maybe this could still happen in the other two movies, where he does become kind of like a leader of sorts and creates kind of this cult following, and then like the classic zombie thing is then he dies, and then it's years later, and like, okay, what has become of the people that he originally taught? What has happened with his teachings and all that, and maybe the monuments that were once a kind of celebration of life and memory, as he calls it, now it's like, yeah, a warning to stay away. Look at our mountain of skulls. So very interesting. Yeah, exploring. It was much more sympathetic to the human condition, I think. Well, I don't know. It's hard to say. There's like, I'm comparing it maybe too much to the other movies, especially since I haven't watched them in a while. But like, it really wants to show the warmth in people even more than the other two movies. Like, that they have those moments in there, but
Yeah,
maybe like borderline sappy. Like I was saying with
there
the
is it, and I was totally acknowledging like, wow, this is working for me, and it is riding that line. It is getting very like saccharine, like very very like almost cutesy with some of the shit. Yeah, but I think it towed the line well. I'm curious if it is because maybe it's Danny Boyle's like farewell, and he wanted to do it in this sort of like loving way. I'm so curious about that, like, and to see where the rest of the trilogy goes. And is it like is this gonna be like the high point? It's like, wow, this is like art. Like, this is like really like this, like the cinematography in this and the storytelling. I
I loved it. Yeah.
I'm like really kind of like blown away by like the scope of the story.
Yeah. And I was looking at the cast, and it was just interesting because, like you said, it does feel like this epic, but it's a pretty tight group of characters. Like, you really don't get too much of what's going on in the city. You don't really learn anyone's names besides like the one elder, I believe, and then maybe what's the like mentor who's like teaching them how to shoot the bow and stuff. I love that.
Sam?
Yeah, he's not in it too much, but he's great. Tight cat.
But it's also, I think the things that are like that are working like that do give it that epic skill is like the alphas, they seem like Goliath, like they have that sort of
so
like
interesting.
this, yeah, they're wild. But I was gonna say earlier, one of our friends when we got out of the movie was like, oh, it reminds me of like The Forest, like one of those like zombie survival games.
Yeah.
And I do feel like there is this aspect of it where we're like kind of building on lore, and it felt so much more like a sci-fi movie than 28 Days Later.
Yeah.
Because of like the time passage. I'm getting like some Fallout vibes as well.
I was getting big Attack on Titan vibes because like the alphas are exactly like the variants in Attack on Titan. There's even one of the variants in Attack on Titan does like a scream which summons the other Titans to attack, which happens here. And the way they're shot, like standing on the hill with the silhouettes, their long hair, naked, the way they run,
they look awesome with the big dongs.
Yeah, fucking big old
hanging dong.
Well, I like that they kind of explain what's going on with them, because the rage virus was like, he described it as like steroids, like adrenaline, right? So it's like if a virus could spread your body like and be super steroids, like what would it do to your body?
Yeah, for sure. So I thought what was cool is that there is this sort of like, yeah, like we've got these like slow crawling, like gross, like fat ones, like the first one that Spike kills. Then we've got these like sort of like regular, like run of the mill runners, and then we've got like these like just having that much of a categorization. It feels like there is this like hierarchy to them, like these different escalations of danger that can be played with. Yeah. And it's so okay, and it's so fucking wild that we get the fucking baby born from the rage virus zombie without the rage virus.
Right. Well, I was immediately thinking spoilers for The Last of Us, the show. This isn't in the game really. Ellie is immune to the virus because her mom was bitten, and then she was given.
I had the same thought. I was like, is this is I mean, immediately when I
Right.
saw it, because I clocked the pregnant. Like I
Yeah,
was,
well,
I did. I
I was
don't know if
wondering.
Did you hear me?
Yeah,
I
you
said,
were like,
as soon as I saw, because I said two different things about the pregnant infected. I first saw it walk. I first saw her. Sorry,
walking in the river. Yeah.
I'm being so disrespectful to the zombie lady. I saw it walking down the river. I saw her walking down the river, and I go, "What the fuck?"
Yeah. Which
And-
was my reaction too. And I'm
yeah.
like, there's no way. I mean, maybe that's just in here to
And
be
then
like,
when she's screaming in the train and she walks in, like, man. And then I was like, "Oh wow, we're."
very visceral birthing
I
scene.
think
too,
I
yeah.
said, "Are you serious?" And I love because in the moment I was like, I'm like, part of me was almost like, I'm pissed off. This is fucking dumb. And then I was like, no, this is dope.
I was mixed. I was like, is this too campy? Like, is it too? Because part of what I like about the virus in these movies is that it does feel like so permanent and so final, and with the inclusion of like the alpha now and who can seem to kind of plan and strategize, like it was just waiting for them and stuff. And then there's that moment, yeah, where they hold hands, Spike's mother and the pregnant zombie, and it's like leaning back into humanity. And for something about that's like just a little like it hurts my understanding of how this infection
You want it
works.
to be so harsh, like too much love, like too much
it's
like,
a,
love can overcome everything.
Yeah,
Dude, love is the ultimate tool, brother.
I love empathy, but like I love the zombies as a focus in on humanity, right? And I'm sure I talked about that a lot throughout the zombie month. But yeah, that felt like it was like a little too much. I want the zombies to stay as the threat, but still like so interesting. And like the scene after that where like he's holding the baby. Oh yeah, we haven't even mentioned Eric. I felt like if there's one thing that stands out to me,
it's them. Yeah.
yeah, where I'm like, why? What is his arc exactly? Like, what is his purpose, his function, his role in the film?
I feel like he has some practical aspects.
There's a lot of
Right.
humor with him. It
Yeah,
almost felt
I
like
mean,
it was comedic relief.
It was a fun midsection where we're just
Yeah.
like kind of like laughing and like he's like carrying the mom, but he saves them.
Yeah.
Provides a glimpse into what the
Happening in the rest of the world.
continent and the rest of the world is like. That will probably be further explored in the other movies. I some of the things I kind of like forgave as like this is like with an arc in mind, right? Like is what I'm hoping. Like we'll see what happens, but yeah, I think some of this shit not totally necessary. Like it's like the weakest part of it. It's still fun though, and so I think like I'm saying, he saves them, he shows them what the outside world is like, and then he provides the conflict of like, well, he also shows how other people think about like people living on the British Isles, and then he has them basically like tells them to kill the baby and screams enough to draw the alpha like as like plot points, right?
Yeah.
But besides that, it is just like it's interesting though. I would have loved like I was kind of thinking, oh man, are we gonna get like I love to do the thing about like we're working with X number of movies, like because this movie is like an X number of movies movie.
Yeah.
Similar to spoiler alert for previous bonus episode. Sinners. Yeah, so I feel like we're getting extra movies in this movie. I'm like, are we gonna get another movie that's like a Black Hawk Down, like military survival
Yeah.
of like the three of them? Because when there were three left, I was like, cool. There's a number that's very easy for us to manage to remember, and they're distinct. And I was like, are they gonna be talking in Swedish to each other the whole time? That's fucking cool. Like I love that vibe. And then they're gonna meet up, right? But no, it was just him, and it was like and yeah, he was comedic relief because he shows a picture of his girlfriend, and you see her, and she looks like she's had some bad lip filler, and Spike makes fun of her for that, saying that he has a girl in
That's
his
his
village.
last
Yeah,
memory of looking at her.
yeah, and then he fucking throws his phone away. Yeah, but like, I'm like, what's interesting about this is like as a like taking it as like a piece of cinema, I'm like, man, this is like kind of like what it doesn't really like need, But sitting in the theater and watching the movie, I was like, this is awesome.
Yeah.
This is such a great little like, dude. Okay, we're recording this after recording the Thing episode. The palate cleansing shots.
Yeah.
This does that with this scene and also with a lot of those wides when they're walking.
Yeah.
Dude, the
it's
shots.
beautiful.
I forgot to mention the first time I cried in this movie is when they got back from like the Alphas like chasing them down the like pass.
Such a good sequence.
I
the stars.
was so tense.
Oh.
Dude, I don't know if you saw me on the other side of Ryan, but I was like this,
No.
like so. I was like
I could feel people tensing up around us though. It was such like like Keith was like leaned over all the way.
Yeah, he was leaning forward. I love that. I was doing some of that as well, but it was like I was so tense that I like just let out. Like I like was such a relief that they got back.
Yeah,
and like seeing how proud like Jamie is of Spike. You know, like I was like so relieved that I shed like a couple tears.
Nice.
When I cried the most, of course, was when you could hear the entire theater sniffling, which is that like moment with the skull, dude. His mother's skull
climbs to the top of the tower. Yeah.
I thought I was done crying, and then he tells him to place the skull in. Dude,
I must be terrible because I chuckled because I was thinking of just like placing the star on the Christmas tree. I was like, this is the most morose Christmas I've ever seen.
I mean, it's funny. I was so much like I've talked about this with friends before. And I've said on this podcast before, I have a great relationship with my family. My parents and I get along really well, and we have a great rapport. And I love my mom so much. And my mom, her dad died the year before I was born, and she was like inconsolable. And when she found out that she was pregnant with me, is like when like a lot of like hope re-entered her life. And I look like my mom. My mom looks like my grandfather, so is always kind of like the whole parts in this movie where she, Isla thinks that Spike is her dad.
Yeah.
Like I was like,
yeah.
I mean, dude, I'm gonna tell you something right now. This is what. Okay, so like when I was like 5 or 6, my mom and I like to play like these pretend games, and I had this character, and his name was Grandpa Pimples, and my mom was my granddaughter Kimberly, right? And I was like, I realized years later it was like a form of like therapeutic play that I think I could just like sense my mom's sadness. I don't know, but like so all of those feelings are like rushing in while I'm watching this, and the way that he's like man, in my head the whole time I'm just picturing my mom's face and just thinking like, wow, dude, like to let go of this person who means so much to you, who gave you life, right?
Yeah, he takes it like a champ.
It's an amazing moment, amazing ritual. Like, I mean, dude, you know me, I love to make light of everything, and your Christmas star thing is great, very funny. But I'm in like the depths of like emotion, just like, this is so beautiful, and the sun is rising as it's happening.
I did have a thought. It's like, if I was filming this, I'd have the sun coming up right when he's getting to the top, and then it happened. And I was like, yes! It looks so good. In the way that it's framed in that final shot with him putting the skull on the top, and it's just like the whole sky is golden around him. Like,
it's beautiful.
It's really pretty.
The cinematography in this, I think the like different techniques with the infrared light to show, like there was so much random shit you get shown that I love.
There's
like
so much the every time they killed one of them, most of the movie, it would do 2 shots. It would get hit, and then it would show another angle of it getting hit again.
It does one of those like things where like the camera slides to the other angle.
Yeah.
Like it almost like stops for a second, then moves, and then like shows it like from the other angle.
So interesting.
Very cool. I
wasn't sure.
I'm curious
what that was, artistically saying, but it was cool. It's all. I mean,
I had an immediate read. It's kind of a soft read. You tell me how soft it is, but it was kind of like, I feel like the first shot was like, I'm saving myself, and the second shot is like the sort of like
revelry of it.
No, like I'm, like the first shot is from the perspective of the human shooting it. The second shot is like I'm dying. Like it's like almost like this
life and death.
It was kind of like making me step a little bit into, like, I mean, the zombies are these mindless rage machines, but I like the way the camera moves, because it moves from like like it moves too behind, right? Like almost like where we're usually placed with the like point of view characters.
Yeah, that's
So
a really good point.
I was having almost this like, is it a perspective shift?
Yeah.
What's going on with that? Like, what's going on with the zombies?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I liked it. I liked it. It is like I would love to watch. This is one of those things where I would love to watch like an interview with the like cinematographer and like
Yeah.
see and like the director and hear about like what their sort of ideas were.
Yeah, I mean, I would just say in general, I'm excited to watch this movie a couple more times throughout however much time because there's so much to get from it, I think. Like,
Yeah.
especially as we've talked about a couple times on the podcast, just, your expectations change so much your viewing experience and not in knowing exactly what the movie is as a whole now, being able to look for all the themes and things they're setting up. Like one thing that's occurring to me right now, right, is like I talked about with all these movies, one of the main themes is just humanity, loss of humanity, holding on to your humanity, and the way that they immediately dismissed what's Ralph Fiennes' character name again? Dr. something Brenner or something? I can't remember.
His character's name is Dr. Kelson.
Dr. Kelson. Yeah, the way they immediately judge his actions is he's lost all his humanity. Meanwhile, his reverence for life and death and paying respect to all these strangers and stuff, he's somehow held on to his humanity much like longer and harder than anyone else.
Well, you notice what's interesting about him as well is he doesn't kill the like
Yeah.
alpha.
Yeah.
Like it's so interesting. He just like sedates it.
Yeah.
Sedates him and
He
walks
still
away.
sees them as people almost, it seems.
Yeah, the way that and then when he finds out that the baby is born and doesn't have the rage virus, he's like, I thought that might happen.
Yeah. Great character.
Yeah,
I
think
almost
he's gonna be in the next one as
Gotta
well.
be, yeah. I feel like I struggle a little bit to understand how he's kept his sanity this long, unless he's just really like reached enlightenment.
No, I don't think he has. I think
Insane.
I think it's one of this is a great trope I love as well, is like a person who seems to both be mentally unstable but tapped into something like deeper and truer about life.
Yeah.
Like he's got that kind of like wacky sort of enlightenment thing where I do think he is like he's gone off the deep end.
Yeah.
But I think
he has made a mountain of skulls, I guess. So
yeah, but yeah, he has made a mountain of skulls. But I do think like ultimately, yeah, there's this, yeah, I don't know, it's just his coping, right? Like
Totally.
the way he copes, and it's very cool. It's flawed. It's not perfect. That's what's so interesting about him. That's the whole twisted thing I'm talking about, like in this presentation of like the future.
Totally. Speaking of character tropes I like a lot, I really like the character that is past their prime in terms of just like being a badass, but you see glimpses of them still like what they used to be, right? And I love that moment with Isla where you like they wake up the next day after sleeping and there's that scene where one of them is like climbing up and you see the flashback of her killing it, and it's like, oh, that's how she survived, right? She did survive this initial apocalypse. Like she had to be a badass, and you see that part of her come out again and then kind of fade into the background. Like, and they do that with her personality the whole movie, where she's kind of
it was great. I mean, like with the part where she like stands up and is like, all right, what are we doing? Let's go.
Yeah,
it's great too, right? And like there. But yeah, I love that was a great scene because I'm like, and the way it's shot too, really well done. Like I love that it is this like non-linear scene within the movie, well handled, cool, and like like you said, like very visceral, shows how badass she is.
Yeah,
how she doesn't stray away from like from violence, like to protect.
She had to tap into however she got to that island, right?
Yeah, I mean, and my read is that she legitimately forgot because she has cancer all over her brain, and like her brain is all fucked up, so she legitimately doesn't know who like.
I was kind of surprised that I predicted that. I was like, what could it possibly be? Where it seems like something's fucking up her brain, and it's been like slowly oncoming. Like sounds like cancer.
I was thinking cancer in her brain for sure too. I mean, she even says like, I thought so. I thought somebody would tell you, right? And I do kind of feel like maybe there is a little bit of like with Jamie, Aaron Taylor Johnson's character. It is a little bit of like I don't have to worry about like knowing what's wrong with her or if she's gonna die because there's no doctor that can diagnose her, right? Like,
Right.
and that makes it easier. Like that helps me pretend like it's not happening, because like
Yeah.
that's very much the way he deals with her.
Yeah.
It's like kind of pretending that
Very
it's not
sad.
happening.
Yeah.
But I think, and she says, I thought somebody else would tell you. So I think she really thought like all these other people can see that like I'm like dying, and it is like something that's spreading. Like hopefully someone can tell my son, right? And then she ultimately gets the opportunity to like, I guess. But it's I don't know. Because it isn't. It is the doctor. But it doesn't matter who tells him. It's and his acceptance of it. Again, really well done.
Yeah. Gotta say, the soundtrack, phenomenal. I didn't see. I don't know. I'm sure there's a composer, but it's mostly music from bands and stuff. And
Young Fathers.
I got
Music by Young Fathers.
interesting. I got so hyped when the Godspeed You Black Emperor song came back in because it's just such an iconic scene from 28 Days Later of him wandering around empty England with that slow building, death or doom metal or stoner metal or whatever you would call a Godspeed Black Emperor. So good, such a epic story. Very, very excited for part 2 and 3. And I saw part 2 is already slated for 2026, which would mean they're like in production, right?
Yeah, for sure. And just based on Connor's tone there, listener, you can probably tell that he's winding down. Sounds like we're getting to a tier ranking. Are we?
Yeah.
Do you have any closing thoughts?
I feel like that kind of was, my closing thoughts. I loved it. Great movie. Super fun. Very emotional. Not what I expected.
Not what I expected at all. Very pleasantly surprised. I want to say, I think everything looks amazing.
Yes.
The fucking costumes are so sick.
Yes.
They look dope. I do hope they make a video game. That would be fucking sick.
We were
as
talking
fuck.
about that after our friend mentioned that it reminded him of The Forest, where it's like, oh yeah, just like an open world, like 28 years later survival game. That sounds awesome, especially with like the alphas and stuff. Like that's very like also Last of Us, right? The evolution of the virus.
Do you play Jamie? Is that like maybe Jamie before Spike? Like before he has a kid, or
I was thinking just
Spike. You play Spike
on the other. You're on the southern end of the island, just some other totally different lore.
Oh, word! But you're not on so you don't have like the safe base to come back to.
Or you could, but it's just like maybe on a cliffside instead of on an island, or however else people are surviving in this world.
Yeah, word. No, that's true. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I usually when it's like a video game, I usually do tend to like give me something that is like off to the side.
Yeah.
Like one of the things I've often said about like Star Wars, like I don't need Jedis. Like give me like give me the fucking gritty crime drama on Coruscant.
Yeah, and I'm less like interested in like another writer's take on these characters and stuff. Like
for sure. Give me something new.
Give me something
fresh.
You wrote in this world.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe even like a loner who runs into other people for the first time. That would be fun.
Or you're a runner between camps carrying supplies.
That would be sick as fuck. Yeah, for sure.
Death Stranding style.
Yeah. Sick. Who should go first for this? You want to go first?
Yeah, I'm kind of struggling with my tier rating. I think this is another one that could rise to an S tier, but I feel like I need to see it a couple more times. So for now, it's a strong A tier for me. If I revise that by the time this episode comes out, I'll let you know at the end of the 28 Days Later episode.
I'm in the same spot you are.
It's so good.
I'm in the same spot you are.
But like maybe a little too much juggling.
Or is it the perfect amount of juggling?
Yeah, I don't know.
It's less than 2 hours long.
I know. Yeah. And I'm so excited to see it again already. Like, I don't know if I'll see it in theaters, but
I think that sometimes people think because I'm a bit of a loudmouth, a bit of a funny guy, that maybe I don't take things as seriously as I should. And, I think my friends probably think I can be a little bit impulsive, maybe do things just to be contrarian or be wild or promote this sort of like mythos of my larger than life self. But first and foremost, I am a son. Second, I am a brother. Third, I am a podcaster. And fourth, I am the king of motherfucking context. In the context of this moment of having seen this just now, yeah, you guessed it, audience. Fuck it, I'm swept up in the hype. S tier baby.
It does feel right hearing it. Yeah. This is probably the most torn I've been. I'm going to give my first A+. How about that for now?
No, it's definitely like, I feel like the theater going experience, and I think this is part of why it's really awesome to see movies in a theater.
Yeah.
Like, man, that was fucking sick. That was amazing. Sitting there, hearing all the people like sniffling when his mother was dying.
Yeah.
But no, dude, like honestly, I was so amazed by how many people I heard who were like, it's not like we're crying like around me, like, and I was like really moved by that. It was awesome. It was a great experience. Perhaps I will soften on that eventually. We have talked about doing a little bit of like a deep tier ranking dive.
Yeah.
Which I think would be fun.
I also feel like it'll, talking of context, the context of the rest of the trilogy, right? Where does this fit in the whole, and how do the themes of this set up the themes in the other ones, and then will I like appreciate what this movie's doing even more?
Yeah. Yeah. Dude, that was awesome.
It was really good.
Like,
it was really
the way
fucking good.
that like it tried. Like, man, like I'm so like it tried. Like that's like I think
bold.
we're so
it was very bold
with this kind of genre, dude.
Yeah.
Like I feel like, well, actually, maybe I shouldn't say that because there's been a lot of like heightened horror, but this isn't just like a horror movie.
I mean, the climax is accepting his mom's death.
It felt like an action, like an adventure. Like that's what it really is.
Yeah.
Like that's the epicness of it. It is like, yeah, I'm blown away, bro. I'm blown away. I'm really fucking grateful we could share this moment together.
Yeah, that was awesome.
That was good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh shit. Wait. Oh no. Oh, I think something just bit me.
Oh no. Brains. No. Alfredo, no.
And we'll see you
in the forecast.